Coach Billy Donovan has spoke out once again on Zach LaVine as trade talks start to ramp up once again. I'm your host, Joey Mercer. This is another episode of Bulls Digest. And before we get into it there today, I just want to say that about 88% of you that watch these videos are not subscribed. So if you aren't already subscribed to the channel, make sure to go down below, hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and every single time we upload here on Bulls Digest, you will be notified. I'm sure you are all tired of me saying that there, but we do like to bring up the graphic there at the front just to let you know how many of you have joined the community of Bulls Digest and continue to join us each and every single day as I see that number rise. Thank to all of you for supporting us here on Bulls Digest. It really, truly means a lot. Without further ado, let's get into the topic at hand there today, and that is Donovan on LaVine's play. So Donovan has spoke out once again on Zach LaVine, and it's only been 3 games since Zach LaVine's been back in the lineup. The first game was a pretty easy win over the Charlotte Hornets. Then the second game went to overtime against the Hornets as LaVine played more minutes. And then last night, LaVine had a good individual game in the box score, but when we look at it, the Rockets came back and forced overtime, which we did come out with a victory, but there's more to look at when it comes to that. The article I'll be citing is from Sports Illustrated and says Billy Donovan praises Zach LaVine for wanting to fit into what the Chicago Bulls have going right now. Donovan praises the guard's team-first attitude and how it's helping elevate the Chicago Bulls to new heights. This is by Nick Ragu once again, and it really opened my eyes because the past 2 games I've wondered why the game had to go to overtime against a Charlotte team which isn't very good and a Houston team which is on the brink of being a solid team, but I just don't have as much faith in them as some of the other playoff teams that are in the mix. This is the first year that they're at least solid. After some big free agency signings in the offseason. The game simply didn't have to go to overtime, in my opinion, and if there wasn't hero ball played by DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine down the stretch in 2 of those games, I feel like we really could have closed things out with the ball in Kobe White's hands a little bit more, as he scores most of his points in 3.5 quarters, and the last 6 minutes of regulation is not getting much done. And it's not because of the shots either, he just isn't getting those. The next thing we saw in the article was it can be easy for a player of Zach LaVine's stature to make demands upon his return from an extended absence. After all, he's a 9-year pro, a 2-time All-Star, and someone who has established himself in the league as a bona fide bucket getter. However, Chicago Bulls head coach Billy Donovan had nothing but praise for the way LaVine handled his return to the team after missing 17 straight games due to a sore right foot. So a different take from Donovan than me right off the top, and let's see what he had to say on that. It says, trying to figure it out, LaVine played his 3rd game back from the foot ailment and had his best game of the season, tallying 25 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals, and a block. More impressive was that he did all of these in the flow of the offense rather than forcing his shots or trying to do too much, once again until the end of the game. Donovan noted how easy it would have been for LaVine to demand more touches or take over the game upon his return, but instead he embraced his role within the team and made sure to make an impact in all areas of the game. Now, when it comes to that, it's kind of interesting because LaVine did get steals and blocks, and game before that I think he had 2 blocks or something like that, but I still don't see him out there playing defense at a high level. It really is just box score numbers, and that's why looking at the box score and watching the game or looking at some even advanced metrics on games is a little bit more helpful than just raw box score numbers. It is important to put up numbers in the NBA. It means a lot, but some players impact the game in other assets, and some players just have high box score numbers that don't impact winning at all, and LaVine's numbers are kind of on the fence of not being that much of an impact for the Chicago Bulls. We know how good this team was without him, and yes, they are 3-0 with him back, but 2 games against Charlotte, 1 in overtime, and then they sneak out a win in overtime against the Rockets. I'm not quite sold on LaVine being back, being the best thing just yet. Next thing we saw was a quote from Billy Donovan saying it speaks more to who Zach is as a person and a teammate that he's coming in there and trying to figure out how he can help the team and the group. I think for him, wanting to fit in, wanting to help the group, he's trying to figure that out. He's not just coming in and saying, hey, I'm going to be aggressive. He's trying to figure out, how can I be aggressive and still help the team? I think he'll figure that out. So, kind of wordy there from Billy Donovan, but I understand what he's saying is he needs to work more in the flow of the offense. He's doing a good job letting the guys who have been performing well while he was out perform, and he did that, like I said, for 3.5 quarters. When it got down to the stretch, some shots were a little bit more questionable on LaVine's hand, and he did play great for the first 3.5. It's just he needs to let the flow of the offense go the entire game and not 3.5 quarters of it. Next thing we saw was this tweet from the Chicago Bulls official Twitter account saying Zach LaVine stuffed the stat sheet. You can see they're 25, 13, and 7. And I wanted to point this out because, yes, it is the best game of the season from Zach LaVine. He looked great. The sore right foot didn't look that bad. And I do want to give him his credit where it is due because it is the best game he's had all year. However, right now, I think he's coming hot off of an injury, and we sell while high. Maybe right now is the best time to trade Zach LaVine. I'm not talking about for peanuts or pennies on the dollar. I'm talking about for real value. Maybe we can get something more than we could have while he was injured, seeing how he's coming back and able to stuff the stat sheet like he did last night against the Houston Rockets. Next thing we saw was reading the game. LaVine recognizes that he, DeMar DeRozan, and Nikola Vucevic don't have to do all the scoring. With Coby White emerging as a legitimate offensive threat and Alex Caruso able to knock them down when the ball swings his way, the Bulls are loaded with offensive options. And it's true. I mean, if you look at the Bulls, people think that they're just a subpar, below 500 team, and they're really getting that 500 level again. They started the season really rough at 5-14. They've really picked things up since then. The Bulls have looked great ever since Zach LaVine went down with an injury first. And when he comes back, or he is back obviously now, it seems as if they're going to continue that winning streak, and I really hope so. They face some better competition the next couple weeks, just before the trade deadline, and I hope that they can really seal the deal and act like real playoff contenders in the Eastern Conference as Zach LaVine trade talks ramp up some more. We really want to see his value go sky high before the deadline, maybe move him at deadline then, but that date of January 15th that we talked about was the second most important next to December 15th. It's just around the corner, just a couple days away. And when we get into that just at early next week, we will be able to see exactly what LaVine will be traded for. Hopefully some more talks happen then. Hopefully we can get some high value right now as he is performing very good and he's red hot coming off an injury. And, capitalize on that value for sure by all means. Next thing we saw on this was for LaVine, it's not just about scoring. He's also focused on reading the game and getting everyone involved. Obviously trying to overcome some bumps and hurdles, trying to get my rhythm back, but we're competing and sharing the ball. My offense will come, just keep building it up the next couple of games, and I'll be where I want to be, LaVine shared. Now, I hope he doesn't mean he's expecting more shots when his offense gets back. I understand he is sort of the backbone of this team when it comes to his offensive game. It's him and DeMar that people look to right away. Coby White's performing right now. You don't need to take 20-plus shots a game anymore. We can have LaVine, DeRozan, Coby White, Vooch share the ball around. All these guys have proven themselves while Zach LaVine was out, really filled a void, and I think that we can go to some more of the bench, some more of the guys in the starting lineup for more touches and get everyone involved, and everybody will be out there, performing at a high level. This has been your host, Joey Mercer. I hope you enjoyed the video there today. Lots more to come here on Bulls Digest in the next few days, as we just talked about a LaVine to the Lakers trade, and on 15th, like I mentioned, there is some more players going to become available that could be featured in some trades for Zach LaVine. When will the Bulls pull the trigger, or will he stay on the team for the rest of the season? That's a question I'm hoping to answer in the next few weeks, and I can't wait to see you all in the next video coming tomorrow. This has been your host, Joey Mercer. Make sure to go down below, like and comment on the video, subscribe to the channel as always, and I'll see you all in the next one.